Hi, I'm Tim Elkhorn, the radio play-by-play voice of the Cleveland Cavaliers, and you're watching Keeping It Real Sports.
I was Prince Bill. We rocking real, keeping it real sports, and we gonna be on this. We gonna be on a lot of times. I love the platform. Check in. It's the new wave. Like, follow, subscribe, and do all that good stuff.
Come on. Told you I got you. Wanna talk about the game, he can talk about it. Tennis, match, golf, he can talk about it. Don't matter what it is, he can talk about it. Any sport dude, he know about it. State your boy bum, don't doubt it. If he tell you that it is what it is. The real sports guy in the Sandman. Talk show game in the bag, man. Rep, don't have to throw the flag, man. Steve Taylor, Andy Sands. It's over, OVA. Game over, they don't play. From the fourth quarter to the ninth inning. NASCAR wheels keep spinning. To the 18th hole, he's still in control. Guy on the go. Coach never missing the play, cause he know the deal. This keeping it real. Sports. Come on. Keeping it real. Yeah. Let's go.
Let's go indeed. Another edition of Keeping It Real Sports, the podcast. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and by all means, make sure you share the content with everybody because we got so much content for you. How's everybody doing? I am your boy. I am the real sports guy, Steve Taylor. He is the Sandman, Andy Sanzada, and Sandman, we've got such a big show, man. We've got NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, man, that just won't seem to quit. The overtimes keep coming. And then this show, we get to showcase Toledo talent because Toledo talent is been on full display and continue to be on full display. Man, what's going on? How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing all right, Steve. Little overcast, little rainy, but other than that, it's all good. Lots to talk about today, and it's a little. I think it's fitting that it's overcast in Cleveland right now.
Yeah, it's kind of overcast in Cleveland, and so what we really kind of want to start with is breaking news that we have hot. That's kind of the news of the sports world right now. We're talking about the passing of a legend, Jim Brown. He passes on, 87 years old. He actually passed away Thursday night peacefully at his home. But what people don't understand is what this man meant to not just Cleveland, but to football fans. Personally, I'm old enough to have seen this man play football. I've seen the impact that this man had. And had Art Modell left the man alone, that was played because they were hanging championships back then, and there hasn't been any championships hung since Jim Brown left. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think that the NFL should consider doing something similar to what baseball did with Jackie Robinson with the number 32. I mean, that's the kind of impact this guy had. Steve, when we're talking about the greatest of all time in sports, I don't think you can look any further than Jim Brown in the NFL. Really,
it's a period in the story. We can kind of cut it there. But so there it is. That is what's happening right now in the world of sports. But there are other things happening, and things are hot. And let's see what's hot off the press.
All right, partner. Well, he did it again. Some people just don't learn. They just don't learn. And he's young and he's naive and he thinks that he can do whatever he wants. And the NBA is going to show him that that's not the case. Okay. Ja Morant got caught flashing a gun. Now, this one wasn't as obvious or as severe as the first incident, but see, Taylor, stop hanging around your boys. Like, get a new group of boys. Seriously. Like, you can't dictate what you want to do when you're making this kind of money. I'm sorry, the NBA's not going to tolerate it. Obviously, the Memphis Grizzlies aren't going to tolerate it. And Steve, think about the shootings that have happened in the city of Memphis. It doesn't get any more dumb than what he's done.
I mean, man, we're looking at probably a 40, 50 game suspension. That's what's going to happen. And I'm also hearing actually people, they're actually talking about, man, shipping him up out of there, the hell up out of there. You know, Memphis probably sounds like they've had enough. Enough is enough. But, you know, dude, you got to be smarter than that. Even if you got boys, man, that's running, that's about that life, man, tell them boys to keep their damn cell phones, man, in their pocket, man. So nobody need to be going live where I'm concerned. That's kind of how it should be. That's how Derek Jeter, the big boys do it. Act like you're a big boy. That's all I'm saying, man.
Well,
Man,
the other thing about that is I think he should be suspended without pay. Not just suspended.
Bro, it's going to hit him because he didn't make all NBA, so he's not eligible for the Supermax contract now. So now maybe you need to concentrate what's happening on the court. But let's get to quick hitters. Quick hitters.
All right, I really thought you were going to have the Spurs hat on today. I'm not going to lie. I was expecting it. I really was, because it happened. Congratulations, Steve Taylor. You won the draft lottery the other night on Tuesday, and Wemby's coming to town. That seems to be the consensus, although there's some pundits that think that, I know, I'm just kidding. I just wanted that reaction out of you.
Yeah, that's all you wanted. You just want me to come out of my unglued. I've already come unglued already. It's taking me 2 days to get my voice back. But what I'm telling you, a culminary of a year's process came to an end on Tuesday night. Thank you very much.
Yeah. They said that Charlotte lost $500 million in revenue because they did not get the number 1 pick.
I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about
Hey, that's my job. My job's to inform people on the show. Your job is to celebrate.
That's it, bro. That's it. Hey, look here, man. What we have is a celebration of sorts, I guess we could say, in Philly because they've got Doc Rivers fired. Now, to me, it ain't Doc's fault that you got a soft-ass superstar. I said it, a soft-ass superstar. God, I'm saying, bro, you have to be more dominant. Y'all didn't we say last week that they shouldn't get on the plane to go there?
That's
well,
right.
We saw why.
Yeah, exactly. And listen, you're right. It wasn't Doc's fault. And now Harden is going to opt out and probably go back to Houston because he can't handle the big time.
Whatever.
So, all right, French Open news.
Yeah.
Big news here. Both Rafael Nadal and Nick Kyrgios are out of the French Open due to injuries. Now, Nadal, it's been a lingering situation over the last couple of years. He just can't get right, Steve. He just can't get healthy. And he did also announce that in addition to missing the French Open, that 2024 will be the final year of his career. He's going to try to get healthy enough to be able to play in all the majors and say goodbye in all those tournaments to all the fans that way. Kyrgios was a little bit of a scary situation. His mother was robbed at her car, and he did something to his foot. I believe he lacerated his foot or his toe or something along those lines. So, but everybody seems to be okay there. Just disappointing that he won't be there either.
Well, man, let's move it to the PGA, man, whereas we have a three-way tie top of the leaderboard where, Scotty Scheffler's there. Man, Connor is playing extremely well, but Victor, man, this kid seems to be kind of made for this moment right now. The young kid, man, that's really mustering the ball out of rough, tough situations, man, has himself top of the leaderboard. But man, when you look at this, the most memorable moment has to be the other day, man. I mean, just real quick, your thoughts, man. I've got a little bit of video of that, man. You know, I'll go to that video. But give me your thoughts on the whole Kim situation, man, and his decision to go into the mud. And you know, I'm kind of jumping the gun by not telling the people the golfer went in the mud for his ball, and it was pretty funny to see the reaction. Here, how about we just show it to you?
Oh, geez.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's all gone wrong.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's.
Don't do it again.
No. It's fine at this point.
Maybe just
Take a bath.
go into the creek, wash it off.
Someone help Tom.
Oh, where'd he go?
He's gone missing in Alex Creek.
Where is he?
Okay, all right.
Hey, he's all right. Oh.
They cleaned up pretty good. Yeah.
That video courtesy of ESPN. We appreciate them allowing us to use that. Listen, Steve, I've been golfing since I was 12 years. I've never gone after a ball like that. I'll take my losses. But I won't even go to the woods. If I know it's gone in the woods, I'm not even going in the woods, let alone going in the river and messing up my outfit. You know, but the funniest part of that was the caddy didn't want to be near him.
They nothing to do with it. Like,
and then after his round, he got to watch himself and what he did. And he turned around and he was slapping the wall, and it was classic comedy. But as far as the tournament goes, listen, this tournament, just like every year with the PGA, you have to keep the ball in the fairway, okay? And the guys that are doing that are the ones at the top of the leaderboard. You better watch out for Brooks Koepka. He's only three strokes off of the lead, and the way that he finished his round yesterday, his game is coming into form.
Yeah, Brooksy's looking good. Hey, by the way. Oh, by the way.
All right, Steve. Oh, by the way, how about the Renegades upsetting the Defenders? We thought it was a foregone conclusion that DC was going to win the championship. Not so fast. Bob Stoops, congratulations to him and his group as they win the inaugural XFL championship.
Hey, by the way, we had the tip-off of the WNBA. And you know what that brings? That brings the Toledoan, who had her chance to go head-to-head against the return of Brittany Griner. And what did she do? She just dropped 14. She was perfect in a floor game. I'm telling you, they found something in Zia Cook, and they absolutely love her. She was sensational. In the words of Dick Vitale, she was sensational. She was scintillating. She was super. She was Zia Cook.
Oh, by the way, Steve, Zach Greinke earlier this week became the 5th player in Major League Baseball history to strike out 1,000 different batters at the plate. How about that for an accomplishment?
There you go. So by the way, let's go between the gloves and have a little bit of fun. When we start between the gloves, man, we have to go back to last Saturday night to where the Toledoan, once again, as we continue our Toledo Fest, we totally continue our Toledo Fest, and we talk about the Prince, Albert Bell, where he was totally perfect, man. Andy, I didn't have a chance to be there at the fight because I had a concert that night. Mm-hmm. But if you recall, I told you that I was working on a little something and an exclusive as I had a chance to meet up with the champion. Okay? So, man, let's continue on with Between the Gloves in the words of Albert Bell. Keeping it real, sports exclusive. Let's go Between the Gloves in the words of Albert Bell.
We the pride of the city of Toledo, Ohio, and we call it the mud, the glass city, or whatever, and that's how we get it out the mud with our hands. we don't have no major sports teams. We don't have no major NHL, no major NBA, MLB, NFL, none of that. So our niche in the city of Toledo is boxing. It's a fight town. I got into boxing at a very early age. My father, who is my coach to this day, he is a professional fighter, and my brothers was boxers as well. So I just came up in the gym. When most kids was getting babysit at daycare or something like that, I was in the boxing gym getting babysitted, just going to the gym with them. And when I was learning how to walk and talk, I was learning how to jab and step and, throw my punches. You become a man in boxing when you turn 16, 17, and I won the national championships twice, as far as the National Police Athletic League in 2011 and the National Golden Gloves Championship in 2012. And then I went to Olympic trials, fell short there, and then I turned pro in 2013 and have been undefeated ever since. The ghettos, you got your trenches, but Toledo is rough, and if I went boxing, I'd probably be in the streets, dead or in jail. The stories how I go. I have a lot of friends and family members that's dead, jail, shot, robbed, or incarcerated or whatnot. But boxing kept me out the streets and kept me focused for the most part. It's just my dad, he's a very easy, laid-back going guy. He always let me be my own man, so we always knew how to separate the boxing from the father-son relationship, so that's ways it works beautifully. A lot of these guys can't do that. A lot of fathers can't do that, egos and all different type of things, but we have a beautiful relationship. He owned me every day. He's in the gym with me day in and day out. He made a lot of sacrifices in his life to make sure that I achieved my dreams, all of our dreams, So, following his footsteps, I just branched off and took it further and made my own. And now we're here today and we keep going. What's delayed is not denied. So we just keep working towards our ultimate dream of becoming an undefeated world champion. And, the sky's the limit.
The sky is the limit indeed as Albert Bell moves to 24-0, man. The Prince, Albert Bell, friend of the show. And I tell you, man, he's, just a really, layered dude, man, when you really get to know this cat, man.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And Steve, think about the fact that he's undefeated over the last 10 years. I mean, that's saying something right there. He's going to get his title. There's no question about it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I'm telling you, the next Toledo one up that's looking for the title shot is Big Baby Jared Anderson. He will showcase his talent right here in the Glass City at the Huntington Center as he will put his undefeated streak on the line. That's going to be a big one. I won't be able to be at that one because I have a concert that night, too. I'm sorry, big dog. I'm sorry, big dog.
I knew that was coming, too, because I saw that it's right around the 4th of July, and I'm like, I know Steve's got a big music gig that week.
Yeah, man. But I'll catch up with Big Dog, man. We'll get him on the show as well. Hey, look here, man. Another cat, man, that I had a chance to cover one of his fights in Atlanta is Devin Haney. Devin Haney is looking at a legacy fight tonight against Lomachenko. Man, Vasily Lomachenko. This is big deal. Last night we saw in the weigh-in, man, Devin come unglued somewhat and beside himself actually push Lomachenko, man. I don't know. Maybe the nerves could be coming into play. I'll be watching tonight. Will you?
I won't be, but I like Lomachenko in the fight. I will say that.
Okay. All right. So there you go, man. Hey, man, look here. There's so much going on the ice. Let's cover it, man. Let's go between the circles.
Steve, let's switch gears here over to the hockey world, and we've got our Final Four set. It's Vegas and Dallas in the West, and Carolina and Florida in the East. Let's start in the Eastern Conference first. Eastern Conference Final: Carolina Hurricanes, Florida Panthers. Game 1, 4 overtimes. Did not end until 2:30 in the morning. And Matthew Tkachuk scores the game winner in overtime, 3-2. Sergei Bobrovsky, 63 saves in that effort. Starting to think Florida might be a team of destiny, Steve, to be able to go in and steal game 1 on the road, but to do it in 4 overtimes, Carolina's going to have to bounce back and win game 2 for this series to go the length that I think it's going to go, which is 7 games. But hats off to the Panthers. They did it again.
I'm not sure, man. I'm going to tell you this, man. When I look at that game, at 17-26 of the first overtime, the Florida Panthers thought they had won the game.
Right.
And
goalie
interference. It was a goal that was disallowed. Well, they could have packed their tents right there, and by all intent and purposes, most people probably would have. They didn't. They kind of fortified themselves, man, and kind of got into the game, didn't let it get away from them, man. I love how they fought, and they fought. Coach Rod Brindamore said afterwards, man, that is the worst way to lose. I think that they broke their spirit in that one, man. That was a hell of a way to lose a game, man. Man, it's going to be tough to come back from that one.
Well, we talked about Bobrovsky, right? I mean, this was the matchup going in, was him against Freddie Anderson, and they both played really, really well. You know, Anderson deserves credit as well for the way that he played. But to lose that one at home, you know, and it was a turnover by this guy, who I thought was going to be a really key player in the series, Brent Burns. You know, they went out and got him in the offseason for his experience, his big shot, his big physical play, and he turned it over. And, Steve, not only did they lose in 4 overtimes, they lost right before they were supposed to go to the 5th overtime. Tkachuk scored that goal with only 17 seconds left in the 4th overtime. And another guy to watch out for in this series is Brandon Montour. He was massive in the Toronto series. He scored 4 goals in the last 5 games, and he's got that big shot from the point. So those are the guys I've got my eye on for that one.
Man, look, man. The Tkachuk Carter Verhaeghe line has been lights out, man. All they've been is productive throughout this entire playoffs, throughout the Boston series, throughout the last series, and it's becoming here now. We saw even in the game winner, it was the Tkachuk line that scored the game winner, man. Those guys, man, it's going to be interesting to me. Game, do they go with the backup goalies? Do they go with Lyon? You know, and because it's going to be tough to ask those guys to literally play 3 games in 3 days. That's actually what you asked them to do. Because
pretty much. That's a great point. You know, let's take a look at the Western Conference now. We got the Vegas Knights and the Dallas Stars, and this one also went to overtime last night. Only 1, but Vegas wins it at home after giving up a goal they should not have given up to get to overtime in the first place. Credit to Dallas for poking that one in. But, Steve, that's a goal that Aiden Hill needs to prevent. And that's the matchup you've got to look for in this series. It's going to come down to the goaltending. Jake Ottinger, 5-0 after a loss in the playoffs. Coach DeBoer has all the faith in him in the world, but he looked really shaky last night towards the end of that game. He looked like the Game 7 Ottinger early, and then he just kind of lost his confidence as that game went along. And another matchup to watch is the front line of Dallas against the blue line of Vegas. You've got Pietrangelo against Pavelski in this situation here. But Vegas is a group of everybody, right? They don't have one guy except maybe Eichel or Marchessault that can win the series. They've got to get it done together. You saw that last night.
Well, last night it was Carlson. It was Carlson that had 2 goals. You know, Howden netted the game winner. But again, it was, man, when Vegas skates 5-on-5, they're as good as anybody in the league. Period. End of story. If they don't take penalties, which they don't do generally, last night the 2 goals that they gave up was consequently on power play goals. When they stay out of the box, man, they're just fine. I love Vegas, man. That's why I bet Vegas last night.
Yeah, and I've got Vegas in 7 in that series as well. But if you're Dallas, you got to be concerned because you got the scoring from your top line and you still couldn't get the win.
But if you're Dallas, you pump your brakes because you've lost every series. You started off with a loss in that went in overtime. Okay, no different than this one. Game 1. Right. So here we go. Right. So there it is. There we go, man. There is your between the circles. So what we have left, I guess we have the NBA. So let's do an NBA update.
All right, partner, it's the NBA playoffs, as we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. Let's take a look first in the East, and we'll go to the Eastern Conference Finals, where Miami has a commanding 2-0 lead. Listen, you can't let Jimmy Butler do what Jimmy Butler's been doing, or you're going to get swept. I got news for you.
Okay, newsflash. The Miami Heat will from now on be called Jimmy Butler Nim, because it's all about Jimmy Butler. Man, look, you earn your name in the regular season. You earn your fame in the postseason. Jimmy Butler is doing just that. Why would you poke the bear when he was just lying? You poked the bear, Grant Williams, and you got. Jimmy Butler is a finisher. He may not start the fight, but damn it, he'll finish the fight. We go back to game 1 where he set the tone. Typical Miami Heat, you know. So my question was it about more so the stars in that one? No, game 1 more so, Andy, was about the co-stars. Mm-hmm. It was Bam Adebayo. So when the Bam Adebayo shows up, and he seems to always remember how to play basketball when he plays the Boston Celtics. For whatever reason, that seems to be the case. Okay? Against everybody else, Bam is a bum. But against them, he's Bam. And he showed up. That brings us to game 2. Okay? Game 2. This is a must-win for the Boston Celtics. They're at home, and they're proverbial betting favorites. And what happens? You poke the bear, and Jimmy Butler shows up and shows out. Might want to leave Jimmy Butler alone. I'm just saying, Andy.
Yeah, and you know, the funny thing is Grant Williams didn't even see the floor in game 1 at all. So I thought it was an interesting move by Joe Mazzulla. I know they were trying to get him in there for his physicality, but Steve, he has a tendency to do this, right? We've seen him do it before. And he's cost the Celtics quite a few games, in my opinion. It
was the right call. In fact, I said that on the other show I was on yesterday. I said the move in particular that Mazzulla needs to make is to insert Grant Williams. Why? Because he brings energy that they were lacking. A lot of the balls that they were getting, man, Kevin Love at one point took a pass and whipped it down the length of the floor, man. That's meant effort, man. That's not X's and O's. That's effort. Right. Man, they weren't giving effort. So, man, one thing you know about Grant Williams is he's going to give you effort, and he's going to get after 50-50 balls, man. So that's what he did last night. He just went one step further, and he poked the wrong guy. Jimmy Butler ain't the guy to be talking smack to.
Yeah, and I like the way that Butler handled that too, just by going out and playing.
He just kicked his ass. That's all he did. Kicked his ass.
Speaking of kicking ass, how about what's going on in the Western Conference right now and what the Denver Nuggets were able to do by holding home court in the first 2 games against the Lakers? Game 1 was a high-scoring affair. They won it 132-126. They had a big lead in that game, almost lost that lead, Steve, but they were able to hang on. And, you know, it was Djokovic with a triple-double, 21 rebounds in that game. And he had 12 rebounds in the first quarter, not the first half, the first quarter, which was extremely impressive. But listen, the difference in this series is what you and I talked about when it came to Denver going into the series, and that's Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray is going to get the Denver Nuggets to the NBA Finals.
Look, game 1, to me, when the conventional wisdom was, well, Darvin Ham found something. Rui Hachimura missed me with that, man. Rui Hachimura, people cannot stop the Joker. Kill that notion. Not happening. Okay, the damage had been done when the Lakers came back in that one, man. The anomaly to me was the 45% shooting from three-point land. Lakers not gonna do that. Not a good three-point shooting team. That brings us to game 2. As we got into that, and those were the actual stats of game 1. Man, when you score 50, when you score 40 and still lose, your star scores 40, so you lose the track meet, and then so you get to game 2 and it turns into a wrestling match, and you lose a wrestling match. You know what I'm saying? So 2 different styles of game, you've lost 2 different ways. If I'm a Laker fan, I'm concerned.
Yeah, and listen, Jamal Murray was the difference in game 2. It was Djokovic in game 1. It was Murray in game 2. I think he had, was it 22 points in the fourth quarter? I believe it was.
26, I think he had. He had 26.
Yeah, I mean, he just...
That's not, man, he's a great home player, not on the road. Just saying.
I know. Listen, it's not a series until somebody loses at home, right? It's not over until somebody loses at home. And to LeBron's point, it's not over until they win 4 games either. Yeah. So this one could be far from over.
Yeah, well, if you lose one of these 2 next home games, and then somebody will be winning 4 games.
Yeah, exactly. All right, partner, before we go, we got one last thing. And today it's the Preakness Stakes. Let's see if Mage can give himself a chance to become a Triple Crown winner. His odds are going to be in favor because only 7 horses total in today's race. More horses were scratched. You got to continue to look at that investigation we talked about last week after the Kentucky Derby. But, your thoughts real quick on the Preakness. Do you think Mage has a chance to win the Triple Crown this year?
Negative. It's funny, man. The horses don't even know they're in a damn race, man. That's the funny thing about it. It's like, man, we got these, it's a gun, and then this horse is running for, in the dead space. Why am I running? I just my way. So there you go, man. 86 of them in the books, man. Yep. It's been fun, but we got to run.
So until next time, wish you love.
And peace, man. Check them dudes.